Virginia, maybe Michigan State. Exciting. Doug Gottlieb is going to join us in a couple of minutes. Let me just say this. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, Jones family said they're not going to extend Jason Garrett's contract this next year. They're going to see how it goes. For the record, I think they're right. This is not college football. It's going to hurt recruiting. I think this is what they should do. And I would say this, and I've said it multiple times, stop lumping Dallas into the crazy, zany, dysfunctional group. They are not. They draft well, they develop players, they trade smartly, and they win games. That's a good division. They've won it 2 or 3 years, and they won a playoff game this year with a 4th-round quarterback. There is a Ferris wheel of dysfunction in the NFL. The Raiders and Tampa and Cleveland and Jacksonville, Detroit and Cincinnati. The Ferris wheel of dysfunction. Do not include the Cowboys in this. They win divisions. They develop players. They trade smartly. They draft well. They're going to go draft a tight end. It's a good year for tight ends. They're going to try to replenish their offensive line. It's getting old. They know what they're doing. They will be a 9-10-win team next year. It is all good. I will say this, though. There are 4 coaches to keep your eye on. Lincoln Riley just signed a contract with Oklahoma. But if he gets into the Final Four and wins a national title, remember, Jerry hired a college coach, Jimmy Johnson, to win his Super Bowls. Keep your eye, and Barry Switzer. So he's 2 for 2 on the college guys. Keep your eye on Sean Payton. If Drew Brees, after next year, shows signs of age and retires, Sean Payton once worked for Jerry Jones. Keep your eye on Josh McDaniels. If Brady, again, shows age, they fail to get to a Super Bowl, Josh McDaniels, with no quarterback in New England after Brady, Jerry Jones would look at him. And Mike McCarthy. Listen, McCarthy's been to a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. He'll still be on the market. So Lincoln Riley, Sean Payton, Josh McDaniels, Mike McCarthy, all potentially available in 1 year from now. This is not college football. You don't have to sign your coach. It's not hurting any recruiting class. So I think the Cowboys are in a good spot. I like where they're going. I think they're highly functional. They do things I like. They draft smart. They trade smart. They develop players like New England. Trey Flowers has been developed into a nice pass rusher. I didn't know who David Lawrence was in college. I didn't watch him. So, I mean, it's easy to draft Zeke, get Amari Cooper. But to develop a lot of the young players, David Irving, they have done a great, great job. Is Duggar there yet? Let's go via the Coward Global Satellite Network. Got a couple of minutes. I want to ask Doug Gottlieb. First of all, Anthony Davis, Lakers. If you were the Pelicans, would you make the deal by Thursday, or would you just keep extending it because you're ticked off at the Lakers?
Well, what are your options there, Colin, right? It feels like New York's option has changed, but there are 3 potential destinations now shrinking to 2 because Anthony Davis has said he doesn't want to be in Boston, so it'll be a rental. So, look, this is a game of hardball where Anthony Davis's camp clearly wants him in L.A., and the Pelicans want to open up to as many bidders as possible. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Shark Tank, right? Like, you know which shark you want to do business with, but you need the other sharks to stay engaged in order to get the evaluation right. I think he ends up a Laker. I think it's sooner rather than later, but there does seem to be like league people have told me, there's a little bit of panic set in from LeBron and Anthony Davis's folks because there is a sense that maybe other guys don't want to play with him. Kevin Durant similarly doesn't. I've been told that Kyrie Irving has no desire truly to play with LeBron James again. Kawhi Leonard doesn't. Jimmy Butler doesn't seem to want to come to L.A. and play for the Lakers. It's more Clippers if he was to come to L.A. And so this is kind of their last hope at a potential superstar. And if I'm the Pelicans, if they want to throw this kitchen sink, you know, that Nick Wright proposal of every young player and 2 first-round picks, I'd do it. But otherwise, I'd just be very, very cautious because you don't want to go to Boston. And I'm not sure. The New York thing's really interesting. A lot of risk, potential reward, but a ton of risk in that they don't get Kevin Durant. And then that leaves them with a bag of money and nobody to spend it on.
Let's talk about the Knicks. They now have room for 2 big free agents. People are saying it's going to be Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I think it's going to be closer to Kemba Walker and Jimmy Butler, who are still really good players.
Yes.
Well, what do you make of the Durant, Kyrie, New York stuff?
I'm with you. I mean, listen, I know that we operate in this world where, hey, league executives are starting to say that that the Knicks think that they're getting Kevin Durant. That's great. The Clippers think they're getting Kawhi Leonard. The Lakers thought for years they thought they were, they knew who they were going to get back before they got them. I remember when Kevin Love was definitely going to be a Laker. I get this from the Knicks' perspective. I get it. Ton of reward there, ton of risk. The dream scenario that somehow Magic ping pong ball, they get Zion Williamson, they get Kevin Durant, and they get Kyrie. I do think that Kemba is more likely than Kyrie, even with Kyrie's really weird kind of cryptic statements today and that he's focused on now, not the future. I do think that Kyrie's kind of not feeling Boston right now. But, dude, these guys, Colin, they can change their mind in a day, a week, hell, a minute. Right? Just read the comments of Kevin Durant over the last 3 months. He says something different every week. So they're going to get somebody. If they get Kevin Durant, great. It's going to be interesting. But how many people have tried to climb that mountain at Madison Square Garden, right? Pat Riley tried it with Pat Ewing and then Jeff Van Gundy. And remember, they spent all that money on Larry Brown and Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire and Penny Hardaway and Jason Kidd. Like, everyone's tried to get the Knicks back and no one's made it work. Don't think that won't be used as negative recruiting towards the Knicks. Like, I like David Fizdale. He was kind of an old head in AAU basketball in L.A. when I grew up and watched him play in college. But, like, look, this idea that David Fizdale somehow is Red Auerbach, like, look, he got into it with Marc Gasol and got fired last year, and they're terrible this year. I think he's a good dude. It's a good plan. There's a lot of reward there, but there's a lot of risk. And they just traded away Kristaps Porzingis, who I still think, injury notwithstanding, still think has an incredible amount of upside. And I think Dallas got the better of that trade yesterday.
Finally, we've got about a minute and a half. What is the storyline Monday on the Super Bowl? You don't have to give me a winner if you don't want. What's the story Monday?
The story is, why not walk away if you're Tom Brady, right? Either way, win or lose, the story focuses on Tom Brady. If he wins, why not ride off into the sunset? If he loses and it gets ugly, like, dude, it's really hard to get back.
Yeah.
Like Kurt Warner, remember, tried to get back and it ended on a concussion. I think that Tom Brady, I haven't heard who you've picked, and everybody misses you here. Why can't Colin get off his tuchus and spend some of that real money he has, fire up the private jet, right, and get out here to Atlanta and pee with the real people? Yeah. Pee with the real people. We're toughing it out here in Atlanta. It's been freezing cold, Colin.
I know.
I think Tom Brady is the prime. Yeah, Tom Brady's the storyline.
Yeah, I think I like New England for one reason. I don't know if Todd Gurley's healthy. If Cooper Kupp and Todd Gurley were healthy, I have no problem picking the Rams. Goff's numbers aren't the same without Cooper Kupp. They have not been, and I have no idea how healthy Gurley is.
And remember, they were down 10 points in New Orleans, right? Like, the call notwithstanding, and they did get a turnover, and they did make enough plays, and they did win the game. Whether New Orleans wants to complain about it, I still think Sean Payton, I know they checked out of a run. Just take a knee 3 times, kick a field goal. It's 50 seconds left. But the point is that this Rams team was down, was trailing, as opposed to the Pats, who they dominated kick to finish against the Chargers, and they took a lead early and made the Kansas City Chiefs play catch up. You don't want that to happen. And it feels like the Patriots are in a win-win situation, even with the coin toss, right? They've shown the desire to take the opening kickoff instead of deferring. And remember, the Rams, they've deferred every time they've won a coin toss this season. And what's happened the last 2 games? The Patriots have scored on that opening drive and made the other team play catch-up. I don't think you want to play catch-up with this team in the Super Bowl. I'm with you. If they were healthy, and if it wasn't the Patriots, the Rams are the better team, better talent. But this coaching staff, this quarterback, they seem to find a way. And I think there's a little bit of a mental edge there, considering they didn't trail until late in the second half on the road in Kansas City, as opposed to the Rams, who had to play catch-up and really has had to survive in their playoff wins in order to get here.
Duggar, good seeing you, buddy.
We miss you. I know you like cold weather, but only when you can ski down a mountain in that cold weather.
Thank you very much. You're very accurate. Joy and I will be next year at the Super Bowl. It is in Miami, her former hometown, and one of my favorite places in America, especially during February.
Yes. It's a lot of people's favorite place in February.
Hour 3 next.
This is the Chevy Equinox. Beautiful.
Wow. Ooh, this is fancy.
That's the available HD surround vision camera.
The top of your car?
Mm-hmm. It helps you see dangers around the vehicle.